shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. Go rest high on that mountain, Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Go rest high on that mountain, Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Gulfport. It looks like we have a few empty chairs up here.
Yeah, the girls got a bug.
So
Yeah.
they're staying away in a safe place to recuperate, but we miss them. But we're happy for those musicians that are here. Let's stand and sing our opening song. I'm gonna sing.
I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing and enjoy the Spirit of my heart. I'm gonna work and sound when it says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. Yeah, I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout and enjoy the Spirit of my heart. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray and enjoy the Spirit of my heart. Take one more time. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work and enjoy the Spirit of my heart. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing and enjoy the Spirit of my heart. One more time on that one. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing and enjoy the Spirit of my heart.
Now, I'm going to say this real quick. We were missing something there, so we need more from out there on this on the next one, all right? Because we were feeling a little lonely up here, all right?
Oh,
Wow, that was a difference.
that was good. Yes, my husband and I went to a concert last night at the United Methodist Church. It was a New Orleans jazz band, and boy, they got us singing and clapping our hands. So when you're in a group and you're singing, it's a wonderful feeling. Your body moves, your hands want to move. You just feel the whole Spirit inside. It's a good feeling. We open our hearts and our minds to receive divine inspiration this morning at this very special place and time. May we allow Spirit to inform us of what is ours to release and what is ours to embrace. We open up, we release, and we receive as Spirit moves in, around, and through us. We are grateful for this glorious morning and all of those who are serving today of their gifts and talents. May we each be blessed in a special way. Amen. Again, welcome to Unity of Gulfport. Do we have any first-time visitors? Yes. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Martha. This is my son Alan with the Glorious Bear. Margie, she's the sixth Martha in the family.
Oh,
And this is my son Max, who likes to be called Steve.
Steve. Okay, welcome. Welcome. Are there any others? Yes, would you like to introduce yourselves? Okay. Okay, we're just going to put you on the spot for a minute.
I'm Tony. This is my daughter, Emma.
Hi, welcome. Glad you found us. Janet, who's sitting at the back of the church, if you haven't received a welcome package, she'll bring one to you. There is a guest information card in there. If you will fill it out and drop it in the offering plate, we will place you on our email list, and you'll receive our weekly bulletin. Thank you. We're so glad that you came this morning. So we come together to affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, and with the source of all who is. In that spirit of unity, let us pause to enfold in light and love all people in our community and in our world. The candle of unity signifies the light within each of us and our connection to the source of all who is. And so it is. Let us affirm our faith. I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I have faith that God provides ways when to human sense there is no way. I have faith that God is guiding me in all ways. My health, happiness, and success are assured. And now let's all sing, I Am the Thinker.
I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts and changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
And for those of you who are new to Unity, that's Unity in a nutshell right there. Announcements. They are on the slide, and they're found at the back of the bulletin and in the newsletter, which Janet sends to us in an email. Remember, potluck this afternoon, so please, right after service, even if you didn't bring a dish, please come, because we'd like to share with you. Also, Reiki is on Tuesday, February 7th at 5 p.m. It should be on the slide and on the newsletter. And I'd like to remind all you, I know we've been speaking about these Unity bags. They're at the back of the room. Those little turquoise-colored bags are shopping bags. You can bring them with you. It's a $5 donation. You can put it in the basket back there. This is for our benevolent fund, which we use for outreach, for the service to those needy in our community and in our group. So please keep that in mind. They're real handy. They're washable. They're easy to carry. And you won't bring any plastic bags home. Okay. That's the most important thing right there. Okay, our daily word. Tammy Breidenbeck will now read our daily word.
Before Miss Tammy say something, let me read. Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I know I had talked about this last year, but this is very important for me this year. I have my 501c3, okay, with my nonprofit organization. I had talked about getting a van, but I found out the van, if I had split maybe like the church, say the church van, then the insurance would be kind of high for me to pay. So if y'all know any car dealer, and they can write this vehicle off, because it's exempt. Would you get with a car dealer? You don't have to be a van, but it needs to be something big, because I'm taking 2 trips in my little car to pick these children up here while I'm going to church. So y'all help me out trying to get a bigger vehicle, please, because I do need a bigger vehicle. So that's why I'm running late today, because I have to go and pick up another child, which I carry 8 of them in the car with me now. So, and I'm in a person no. Okay? So just think about me, and if y'all know a car dealer that'll work with me, and he can write it off. It's a tax write-off, because I have 501c3, okay?
Thank you very much. Today's daily word is "My faith is making me well." Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore's healing journey began when she changed her mind. Inspired by the words of a healing practitioner, she took this affirmation to heart. "I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit disease or sickness." After 2 years of persistent health, affirming meditation, prayer, and practice, Myrtle was healed. Her faith made her well. Myrtle Fillmore lived joyously and vigorously for many years. I take inspiration from this story. I too am a living expression of God. I feel my body's quickening response as I claim my inheritance of divine life, vibrancy, active in every cell of my body. Good nutrition, exercise, and rest support my healing practice. My faith is making me well. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." Mark 5, verse 34.
Thank you, Tammy. And thank you, Ms. Ney, for telling us about the need. And it is a great one because she provides a really good service for our children here. And I know within this group, we could make that happen. Well, let me just say we will make it happen. That's a better way to put it. And now let's all enjoy what I'm thankful for.
We've had to have a little change in that, however. It's a song that, for one thing, I can't do it without my girls. It's just one of those I had to. And so we're going to do "Make Me a Channel of Your Peace."
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there's injury, your pardon, Lord. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. Where there's doubt, true faith in you. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to be, so much to be consoled as to console. To be understood, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel. Make me a channel of your peace. It isn't pardoning. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to all men, in giving to all men that we receive, and in dying that we're born, and in dying that we're born to eternal life. Back to, oh Master. Oh Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled, so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to all men, in giving to all men that we receive, and in dying, and in dying that we're born to eternal life.
Thank you. And now for prayer requests. If anyone has specific prayer requests, we have a box at the back of the room that has the prayer request forms that you can fill out and place in the box. If you'll put them there, they will be prayed over at here in our prayer group and also at Silent Unity. And now Reverend Judy will lead us in meditation and share today's message.
Thank you, Joan, not only for that, but for covering for me last week in so many ways. I had the flu, and that was after 2 months of having a broken ankle and foot. And I felt like I'm starting all over again. This is the new year for me. But I was so disappointed last week. I knew I was contagious. I knew I couldn't do it. I had a memorial service of one of my best friends in the world, Maxine Nix, and knew that I couldn't go, couldn't do it. And called my friend Joan, and she said, well, of course I'll do that. So she stepped in, and then she stepped in last Sunday as well. Thank you so much. We are a small spiritual community right now, but we are filled with so many gifts, so many talented people, and we see that that's going to expand. So I'm just grateful this morning, not only for a group full of people that can step in and will, thankful for that, and grateful for the sunshine, this weather. My goodness, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Yesterday got better and better as the day went on, as long as you stayed out of that wind. And then today is perfect. I don't know what parades they're going to be today, but they'll be good, whatever they are. Excuse me. And I did want to say on the schedule, I didn't interrupt at the time, but it's not on your bulletin. I slipped it in this morning because I have sort of been in an altered universe and I haven't been participating in the physical. And so I slipped in the Circle of Healing. It's going to be February the 15th at 10 o'clock. I had it on the schedule that we showed just a few moments ago, but it's not on your bulletin. So it's not this week, but it is the following week, Wednesday, I believe that's the 15th at 10 a.m. I facilitate that. It's for anyone that wants to come, that needs support in any way. We're just a support group. We listen. We lovingly listen. Everything that is said is held in confidence. And we just, it's a lot of good fellowship. So that is one thing that I've added. So this morning, I asked Shelby to place on this slide, focus on the light. And so I'm just going to ask you if you'll close your eyes. Become comfortable where you're sitting and allow your focus to go inward, if you will. In a few moments, I'm going to talk about the power of focus in our lives in practical ways. But at this moment, I'm asking you to focus on the light and the love of the one power and the one presence who illumines, that illumines all. When we're most troubled, that is especially the time that we need to allow the light to come in and illumine all those dark places. If you'll close your outer eyes and allow the muscles around your eyes to soften, it will allow your focus to go inward. You may see a light around your third eye, the middle of your forehead. You may feel a light coming in the top of your head, down the spine. You may even be able to feel the light of Kundalini that moves up the spine, a shiver up the spine. Allow that to happen. clearing out all the old energy, lower thoughts, negative thoughts. Focus on the positive. Focus on each and every cell in the body. Saying, be well. Be well. Be healed. Be whole. And I would just ask you to say to your body today too, you can heal from anything. As Jesus and other masters have said, do you want to heal? Yes. Physical issues, addictions, behaviors. Hand them over to the one power and the one presence this morning, saying, God, I choose to heal. I choose to let this go. I choose to go a new path where I'm placing all of these other things behind me, and I choose only light. When we say these things in love, faith, and absolute true belief in that one power, we say, thank you, God. Amen.
With love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost. With love, anything is possible. With faith, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost. With faith, anything is possible. With hope, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost. With hope, anything is possible. With love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost. With love, anything is possible. With love, anything is possible. Any mountain can be climbed. Any river can be crossed. Nothing's ever lost. With love, anything is possible.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. We lost half the congregation when the children went in, didn't we? That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to mention something too that I was going to mention during our potluck service, but I want to mention it now just in case there's someone online that's interested. Doug Lemaire had asked me recently if we had classes in Unity Foundations and the basics. And yes, he was indeed asking the right person. And I'm going to talk in a minute about the power of focused ministry too before I talk about the power of focus. But I do just happen to know a group of people that teach classes, the Unity Foundations and Basics. And there are just two things I want to mention this morning. If there are any people in this congregation, in this room, or in the listening audience that have a desire to take those courses in order to become a licensed Unity teacher or a Unity minister, there are core courses that must be taken, and I just happen to teach each and every one of them. Or I am credentialed to teach each and every one. Now, about 3 years ago, when the pandemic started, a lot of things changed. I, at that time, felt like I needed to concentrate all of my energy right here and do what I needed to do to keep this congregation going. What did we need to do? Well, we had to start live streaming, didn't we? Because we weren't supposed to be gathering. There were a few hardy souls that came anyway, and one of them was Maxine. She said, I'm not staying home, I'm coming anyway, and she did. She's the one that passed away recently, quite suddenly. As a matter of fact, it shocked us how quickly she went. But she had just decided it was her time. She was 88, and she just went peacefully and quickly. But the first class is Unity Basics and Foundations. And some of you took that with me before. I think Tracy did. And we did it on Zoom. And I am willing to teach that class in any format. We can do it on Zoom. We can do it on Sunday mornings. We can do it on one Sunday a month, whatever format. I think that Doug may be one of those people that will want to get credit for it. And so there are going to be two ways to take it. Just out of interest for the Unity Foundations class, or to get credit for it to apply toward either applying to be a Unity minister or a licensed Unity teacher. But either way, the classes are great, and I'm going to start teaching that one in the not too distant future, as soon as I can determine how many people want to take it and when is and how is the best format for that. So that's just a plug for that class first. But this morning, I want to talk about the power of focus, and I want to tell you why this word has come up for me so much lately. And that is that Reverend Shad Groverland, the chairman of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and he's someone I have known for 10 years or so. He's fairly young to be the chairman of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and I was pretty glad that they went with a younger person. I think it's great. He's got some great new ideas. But one of the things he decided to do last year, it was his first year at the helm, and he was really reaching out and doing it. He's doing workshops all over the United States at different Unity ministries. And one of the things he's talking about is to focus on what you're good at. Too many of us churches after, I was going to say Katrina, good grief, where'd that come from? After the pandemic, about the same thing, it just lasted longer, is that we don't know how to do church anymore. We were bursting at the seams when the pandemic started. We personally here were so full that we were already deciding how we were going to add on. We had brought in every chair we could bring in, and we had gotten everybody into the room we possibly could. We had put the chairs as close together as possible and saying, wow, we're growing like crazy. Then what happens? You get shut down. Who would have guessed that? It's just like me recently with my broken bone in my ankle and a bone in my foot the first week in December, and I'm thinking, what in the heck is that? I've never broken a bone in my life. I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't focusing on what I was doing. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And so made it through December by sitting up here with that big, horrible cast on my leg, and then got to wear it another month because I hadn't healed quite soon enough. The doctor had the nerve to tell me that the older we get, we don't heal quite as fast as we did when we were younger. I resented that. It's like, how old do you think I am? I'm only 43, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, so then I got the flu. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, that's why I said I almost feel like I've been in an altered universe here, and here we are, February the 5th, and I feel like this is the first of the year for me. So anyway, I'm going to start out with a bang. I felt so good this week and just couldn't wait to get back to church this Sunday morning and talk about some of the things that I've been thinking about, I've been processing since I've been focused. I've had to stay in. I had no choice. I had to. It forces you. So if you're a person that thinks you've got to be out there all the time doing everything, I got news for you. The universe is going to slow you down. And maybe that's what happened with us at church here too. In the whole world, we had a forced staying in, didn't we? We had a forced staying in. So what Reverend Shad is doing, he's going around to different Unity centers with a workshop, and he's talking about the power of focused ministry. And he's saying to everybody, you can't be everything to everybody. You get strung out too far when you do that as a minister and as a ministry. You have to decide what you're really good at. Focus on that. Don't offer everything else in the world. Focus on what you're good at. So I am going to focus on Sunday morning, because Sunday morning is what I'm good at. And delivering the talk on Sunday morning is what I'm good at. So I'm focusing on that, okay? And one thing about a minister, we all assume the minister can be the go-to for every single thing in the world. And the thing that happens is he or she will finally get to the point where they'll break. So you have to decide, here's what I'm good at, here's what I'm going to focus on. I won't be participating with the Reiki circle. I apologize, but I'm going to let those that are really good at that handle that. I'm going to focus on what I'm good at, and that's teaching. That's what I'm good at. Okay. And he's also recommending that the ministries focus on what they're good at, and we've dedicated so much time and effort and resources into live streaming and reaching those folks out there. And he says, if you're good at the Sunday service, bring them back in. Bring them back in. And there's a way to do that. And this is what we're good at. Our musicians, our girls that are usually here, and everybody misses them this morning. It's because this is what we're good at. Okay? So that's what we're going to focus on. So the power of focus this morning, that I wanted to tell you that that's what, and if you'll move on to the next slide, Andrea. Reverend Shad was just saying, what you focus upon expands. Be careful where you place your focus. It's just like when we left this morning. How many people get distracted and you can't remember if you close the garage door? You can't remember where you put your keys. You can't remember where you put your phone. You don't ever do that, do you? Do you think if you focus on what you're doing, that might work out better for you? Anybody ever had that thought? So concentrate on what you're good at. We've already talked about that. Look at what you truly believe. Jesus said, I tell you the truth. You can say to the mountain, and thank you for that music. That was perfect today. Everything you guys did, it was perfect. You can say to the mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. Mark 11:23. Now, we know that if Jesus were alive today, he would reframe a lot of the things he said. What he was saying, he was talking to people 2,000 years ago. If he were talking today, I think he might say, if the channel you're tuned to isn't working for you, tune into a different channel. Find a higher network. Find something higher that works for you. And I'm pretty sure that's the way he would say that. But what he was saying was, where do you place your faith? What do you truly believe? And what do you truly believe you are good at? Focus on that. What are you good at? We get spread out too far, furthering that other comment that you can't be good at everything. I was reading a story about Steve Jobs, and he was giving some advice to the fellow Mark Parker, who was the CEO of Nike. And at that time, they were floundering, just absolutely floundering. They had hundreds of products, but they only had 30 that were really great, outstanding products, and they had about 350 that were just crummy. So it didn't take Steve Jobs long to tell him. He advised him. He said, man, you've got your product line too scattered. You are doing too many things. Now, just choose what you're really good at and eliminate the rest. Well, all the powers there, those thinking people at the head of the company got together, and the product managers, and they said, well, you know, these products we've expanded to, nobody really wants them, they're not buying them, but we keep doing that because we made a decision once. Now, how many things in your own life do you keep doing because you're going to prove you weren't wrong when you made that decision? Anybody ever done that? And you just keep doing it. Well, it was so obvious to Steve Jobs because, see, he'd had that experience before with his own company. And when he came back in the 90s to, was it Apple? They were so spread out doing so many different things, it was incredible. And so he had already chopped and said, cut it out. Let's do these few things we're good at and we'll excel. And they did. And it was the same with this company. It took him no time at all to tell him, you've got to quit this. You've got to hone it down and just offer what you're good at. And they've been extremely successful since. So I think that a lot of times in our own lives, we've made a decision and we're going to stick with it no matter what, even if it doesn't turn out well. But so sometimes we just need to pare down what we're doing and focus on what's good. So what do you believe? Jesus said, I tell you the truth, you can say to the mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. What did that mean? He means, what do you really believe? What's your faith in? I know that you'll be with someone and they are grumbling all the time about how good someone else's life is, and you're thinking they'll be talking about, well, you know, so-and-so, they just keep getting good upon good upon good upon good. All these good things continue to happen to them. What they don't really understand is this person that's so successful has raised their consciousness, their godness, their isness, to their higher self, where they're in a totally different energy of vibration. And so their good is coming to them constantly. What you ask, you receive. And many times we're asking because all of our thoughts are negative. So if all you're doing is grumbling about how bad things are, never going to get any better, just grumbling, your good isn't going to come to you. So if you're focusing on the negative, your good's not going to come. You cannot solve a problem from the consciousness with which it was created. I believe Einstein said that. And that means if a problem has been developed in your life, you are not going to solve it from the same way of thinking that you've always used. It's not going to happen. Choose this day whom you will serve. Jesus said that too. Decide what vision you will use and focus upon that. And what he was saying was do you want to hold a lower vision? Problems, negativity, the things that come up on this earth always. Or do you want a higher vision for yourself? A higher way of living and being and thinking? I heard about a psychologist who was assigned to work with a young man, and he had an addiction. His addiction was so bad. He just had a long history of it. His name was Jack, and he showed up in the office of Dr. Estelle Parsons. And he had a thick folder of all the problems that he'd had all his adult life, and he could never get away from them. So Dr. Parsons began to interview him, and he launched into all these stories and justifications for why he had his addictions and why all these bad things continually followed him throughout his life. He just had bad luck. Whereas he could name 100 people to you that had good luck and good things happened to them, but he had bad luck and nothing good ever happened to him. Therefore, he had decided to drown all his troubles with alcohol. So she says to him the first week they met, "Tell me about what you did this week that was not addictive." So can you imagine most psychologists that you're going to talk to, they're going to ask you what makes you drink over and over and over again, and you're just going to talk about that till you're blue in the face, and they are too, until they just can't stand listening to it anymore. But she took another tact and decided to ask him, "What in your life did you do this week that wasn't addictive?" Well, the first week, he had a hard time coming up with something, but he did. And he came up with something that he had done that was strictly healthy, and it was not from his addictive state or a drunken state. It was from a healthy mind. So that got him thinking. And the next week, he did that a little bit more. And so each week, as they progressed, he had more and more to report that did not, where his life, he was acting from a normal stance, a higher way of being than from that addictive state he'd been living all his adult life, until several months later, he was healed. And it also reminds me of the statement from Jesus where he asked the woman, "Do you want to heal?" Do you want to heal? Do you really want to heal? Or do you want to keep that addiction? Do you want to keep that excuse? Do you want to keep that burden? Do you want to move forward in life? So it didn't take that many more months that he did heal and went forward with his life in a healthy manner, healthy relationships. So sometimes if we just focus on the positive long enough, we can heal. So choose this day whom you will serve. What he was saying was, do you want to serve from the ego? Do you want to serve from a higher place? Decide what vision you will use and focus upon that. Mastery requires focus and consistency. Do you know how many times you go out to a restaurant and you think about this yourself, and it may be a working meal, it may just be a meal with a family, it may be your meal at home, it may be a meal with friends. I want you to just think about it. How many of the people there are looking down at their phone every few minutes? That's distraction. That's not focus. I suggest that if we started doing less multitasking, do you know you cannot excel at anything if you're multitasking all the time. You cannot excel at anything. Do you think the sports person that's trying out for the Olympics is multitasking? Absolutely not. The person that's wanting to run in the Olympics, do you think they're multitasking, checking their phone every few minutes, listening to see if somebody's going to text them? I bet they don't even have their phone on them. Do you? I just suggest that what's happened to us, that we're all multitasking so much, we cannot even focus on a conversation. We can't focus on driving, can we? Because we're paying attention to something else. We can't focus on our family that we're sitting with, having dinner with. The busy executive has brought their phone home and it's sitting on the table while he or she should be with their family, spending family time, listening to what happened at school today. You can't do that. You can't be totally focused as a parent or a partner. You can't be focused if you're multitasking. So I guess my suggestion from this is that it is a spiritual thing to do, to focus on what you're good at. Do that. If you've been floundering and you don't know where to put your energy for the future, where to find a job, what to do, ask yourself, what do I love to do? What do I really enjoy? Focus on that. If you're healing and you have a tremendous healing need, don't multitask, folks. Focus on that. The amount of time you need to. And if family members and friends don't understand that, then they need to have an adjustment in their attitude. And that can come with kindness and gentleness. We don't need to be ugly, but focusing is extremely important. It's spiritual work. It's spiritual practice. It's what we're called to do if we ever want to be good at anything. It requires focus. And I thank you this morning. I can see that everyone in the room has been focused on my words. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you've come here and you're going to help us rebuild this spiritual center. And the next thing you know, we're going to be bursting at the seams again as we're focused upon bringing people back into the building, because that's what we're good at. What we're good at is the music, the words, the sharing that the platform assistants do, those that share the daily word, those that are sharing their light and their love and their fellowship right here. It's what we're good at, and we're going to build upon that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. I just have a few thoughts that I'm going to share with all of you, because I can't just hold them in. I gotta let them out. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that. When I was learning to play an instrument, inspired by my good friend down there, And I'm not a youngster anymore. My brain isn't as plastic as it used to be. I was all over the board. I wanted to do this. I had a list, probably 7 items that I wanted to do. And what I learned quickly was if I was ever going to get good at what I was playing and learning, I was going to have to focus my attention on one thing at a time. And when I did that, I did come to some level of mastery, and I'm thankful for trusting my inner guidance and also my mentor, inspiration guy right down there, Charles. And also, I wanted to remind you of one other thing. We call this a service. When we get together in church, we call it a service. Let me read you the words to what service means in the dictionary. It means to restore to good condition. It is work that is done for others as an occupation or a business. It's an act or a variety of work done for others, especially for pay. Not necessarily here. The serving of food or manner in which it is served. And let me just stop right there. Every week there is a bountiful table set here at Unity in this building. And what I'd like to invite all of those of you who are out there watching online to come and join us and make this a richer experience for everybody. There's a bountiful amount of fellowship and love, and it can only be done in person. So please come back. We need you. Thank you. This is our time to give expression to our appreciation for all that is offered here at Unity of Gulfport. Please take your offering in your hands and say along with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust in God. Thank you.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May your fields be watered by gentle rain. And may God hold you in his hand until we meet again. We are sisters, we are brothers, we are bound to each other to love one another. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May your fields be watered by gentle rain. And may God hold you in his hand until you meet again. And may God hold you in his hand until we meet again. And may God hold you in his hands until we meet again.
Thank you. You guys did really well without those two singing angels with you. You did a marvelous job. I had thought of suggesting that Rick and Bob sit up there in their place, but I just didn't know. a good call not to. They can sing, just not in the same way. And as a matter of fact, if you haven't been to music night, please come next time. We have food. I'm sure we have a lot of food. I haven't been over there, but I'm sure there's plenty, so please stay. Everybody, okay? We have a nice luncheon planned. We're so grateful, for the love, the energy, the light that we have experienced today. And we're so grateful for every person who came today to share their love, their light. And we're so appreciative of these gifts that have been given. We ask that they would be blessed and used for the absolute highest good. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Amen.
Appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, empowering you to do great things.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.